Nindi, greetings to you, dear one. We are that one known as Osairah, and we are in fact overjoyed to be in this alignment with you. We are recognizing you. We are recognizing the potentials, the connection, the way in which this is an anchoring of light. We are acknowledging in this moment the power and the velocity at this time of transformation on your planet, of what we would say is the way in which information and light is being shared, the way in which the highest vibration of truth and goodness is being clarified by those who are holding those spaces very strongly. So in this moment, we come forward in the opportunity to expand into that with you, with many at this time. There are so many people and connections in this current system of reality that you are participating in that are doing far greater goodnesses, works of higher light, higher love, higher anticipations of the creation of good. So what we mean by that is that there are many who are envisioning and holding those frequencies for that which is coming to and through so many people at this time, even while there is major recalibrations, major adjustments, major shifts and allowances to have many pieces and parts of life shift and change. Old systems need to crumble and new systems need to be installed in a certain sense in consciousness, in the ways in which people are participating in the world, humanity's heart and soul, in a certain sense, needing the recalibration to remember who and what they are, how they've come here, what they are holding, how it is that their own individual sovereign rights to the life expansion through the earth experience is their truth, and it needs to rise. So there's that which is coming through many human beings at this time, the work, anchoring these awakenings. They are, like we often say, the flipping of the switches. The switches are flipping on in people, and they are shifting how they orient themselves to how they live, how they think, how they interact, what it is that seems to matter the most in this world and this experience of the life that they have before them, coursing through their fingertips, the ways in which they are activating themselves or the world around them. So we are speaking to you all, essentially, when we are talking to you, dear one, when we say that you are in a major recalibration for the expanded experience of human consciousness at the highest next levels that can be held and embodied throughout humanity on this earth grid. This is a consciousness evolution, as we've been saying for the all time that we have been here coming through and with our beloved channel. We are saying to you, you are on an accelerated path and course for a higher level of consciousness to be embodied through the human vessel, the biometric consideration of what it is that you are as a human being is essentially the word upgrading in consciousness through these times. This time is an evolutionary jump in the overall for life on this planet. What does that mean? We hear many questions. We see and feel and understand many questions for individuals. They say, what does that mean for me? What does that mean for me? How is it that I'm supposed to take that and use that for the highest and live the best life here that I am here to live? And so we answer that first before we say we hear it from so many different places. It's not just the individuals that are going through this, although the individuals at the highest level of consciousness is shifting. You are all adding into that pot we talk about on the regular. You're all adding into the pot, for what you create within is created without, and what you see and experience is already foremost here inside. So we say that people don't want to take personal responsibility for that. So we say go to that. Go to the place where you don't want to take personal responsibility in order to excavate that which does not serve, in order to live what does. But you cannot if you are blocked by what it is you will not face. So we say these things because you are all being collectively put into the experience of facing what it is you don't want to face. And what is created by that is seemingly to be extraordinary divisionary states of consciousness. But really, those are the pieces, those are the nuggets, those are the golden cues to understand that those pieces, those fragmentations, those ways of being and believing and held concepts of what is right or what is wrong are those fragmented pieces that need to be seen in order to be looked at, that seem to be causing divisions, that need to be seen so that they can be brought back into wholeness, brought back into the holiness, brought back into the truth, brought back into what is the highest dimensional frequency that you can experience here in the body while being on the earth. Well, what does that mean? It means you return to a state of understanding of love and unity, the unification of the soul and the spirit, matter and heaven, heaven and earth, the ways in which you are experiencing the life you are living is not to be met by the distractions that so many have fed into for so long. So facing those distractions, facing those ways, small beliefs, the ways that you distract with all the things that seem to get your attention that you've been programmed by and for in this life. Now, some of those things are being brought to question. Those are being brought to the surface. They're being shaken out. You're being uprooted. Your tree is being shaken. You are looking at things that you didn't look at before because you weren't willing to see the truth peek out at you. Instead, you used to or would hide, and now you're being forced to, you're being asked to, you're stepping up to, you're being a little more willing each and every day to process through the things you didn't want to experience. And what is that doing for you? It is literally shifting consciousness. It is changing the way that people and beings are participating on this earth, and it's time. So it's bringing those things that seem to be counterintuitive, yes, and polar opposites, and it's bringing it all to the surface, and it's making its way so that you all have to take a look really and deeply at being human and being on the earth and being a soul and being a heart and being in alignment and being in truth. And what is your gift here to be, to know, to live, to feel, to share with the world? And if you are all being, doing, living, and acting and feeling and emanating from that place, you would radically change it. That is what you're facing. That is what you are looking at. And everything that is not that is what you are tending to. And so we say, from a different vantage point, we say, looking in, we say, and so they're doing it so well. We say, because it takes the brave ones, it takes the big-hearted ones, it takes the soul-hearted, full warriors of light, of wisdom, of truth, of courage, of the honest intention for the highest and best to come and serve. And what does that mean? It means not we're giving you some fanciful story of warriors of light. We're just talking about how it is to be human and to take up the courage to remember who you are and why you're here at a deeper level, at a go deeper, 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 deeper down. And so when you fluff up things to the surface that you don't all want to look at, you have to face what it is that needs the change, what it is that needs the fixing, what it is that needs to be dying and reborn, that needs to die and be transformed, resurrect into a higher, next lighted version of itself, of yourself, of the world, of consciousness, of unified unity on this planet, of what it is to be embodied as a soul, as a spirit, as the truth of your being at a higher level of the ascension process that you are all in. Really, you have come so many times, you are here again. Many of you know this, many of you are still sleeping to that. That's fine. It doesn't matter. We don't care about that. We're just here sharing to the next level for those who have the eyes to see and the ears to hear that you are a part of a great awakening on this planet. It is like we've said many times, many times before, you are in the human evolutionary consciousness jump. You are changing. You are literally cellularly re-manifesting yourself while being in a physical body. You are upgrading your systems on so many levels. If you're willing, if you're willing, if you're willing. And we mean that truly, because we see how it is that humans resist, they fight, they don't want to go into the change, they don't really want to completely take off the old skin and die to who they've been and be reborn. We understand it's scary for some, it's a difficult passage for many, for most. And yet, so many of you have this ability. You have done it before. You do it again and again. Remember that you have done it before. Remember that you can do it this time. And as you are doing it, as you are beginning to willingly look at how it is that you need to strip off what you are not to become what you are, you must take responsibility and look yourself in the eye with that. Then you can tend to the things that might get your attention the most on the outside. But first, it is an inside job. So we say, tend to the inside. What is it that's blocking you? Where are your own inner distractions, 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 addictions, pull-outs, the way in which you hide, you go underneath, you don't want to look, you don't want to see. When you start to face those places inside yourselves, when you see that you are the one you are condemning, on some level there is that, you begin to understand that you are the activity of life eternal changing right here and now. You can see that, no, you would say, oh, Osairah, I would never do those things. And we understand. You 99.99999% probably wouldn't if it was something that was extreme, that you know to your values and morals you would never do. And that's true, and that's probable. But we would also say there are potentials within all beings to be the thing they are in condemnation with. So when a person or we'll just start with an individual. If one says to themselves, is it potential that there could ever be that place in me? And pause. We know that is difficult. We know that that has been twisted. We know that it has been twisted around and thrown back into the pot of conversation to say, well, I would never do that. And this is a tactic, and the word. These are ways to be covert in not taking responsibility. And we're not saying that at all. With anything, we are saying this is the way to take personal responsibility to the nth degree, to the limits of where it is there is no more personal responsibility to take, because it has transcended through you and you realize, I am that. The moment you realize I am that, you own a part of yourself in a way that is the kind of authority that lifts you in a newer way of relationship-ing with the world, with your fellows, with nature, with the earth herself, with the spirits who've left the earth but who are here. You begin to commune differently because you have taken personal responsibility to know you are all of it. Everything, every piece and particle of institutions, contracts of the world on any level, you have made an agreement for and with on some level, and you could be it too. So we say, pulling back from that, standing in authority with the I am presence, and understanding where you are as a sovereign conscious being means you take personal responsibility and you emanate from that place of love and understanding. You own yourself fully. We know that that still sparks so many offshoots of conversation. And there's so many different ways we could go, but we will let that rest. We will let that sit for now, because this is what you're all doing. If you pause and you pull yourself back and you breathe into the beingness of this that you are, the body consciousness that you are participating in you plug in to what is happening in this world experience that you are in currently. You can see that you have more power ultimately because you take it here with yourself. You listen within, you regulate, you're willing to listen to what is happening, and then you're willing to listen to it within you, and then you churn around within yourself to what is true for you. That is what we see happening. That is what is happening for you, dear one. That is what is happening for this one here. This is happening for all of you. And collectively, you're making choices. You are standing on the word. It's like the word. It's like you are the word. Standing in certain spots, let's say, on the earth, and you only have a small little plot of this place where you are standing, and it's going to be time to jump to the next plot, if you will. Let's say, well, we could use it like a lily pad. Yes, that would be a good way to say it. You're on one lily pad and you have this entire lake or this entire experience where there's so many lily pads, but where you are is holding you to certain ways. You know that you need to leap to something else, somewhere else. And that is opening you up to a higher learning. That is opening you up to an expanded view of consciousness. That you will jump, that you would be brave enough to face your own personal self on any levels that would expand you into moving and being an adjustment on that whole totality of the lily pad pond. So we're not so certain our analogy worked in this moment, but we will say we see that that is helpful to know where you stand and to assess within, taking personal responsibility for your own consciousness and being willing and open to be in receivership of that which you would take in at a new level and see if it is true for you. This is what you're all in. And we would say this, in certain senses, is just so very perfect. You are amplifying consciousness at a level unprecedented in this timeline. What we mean is in this way that you have organized yourself to be here exactly at this time, whatever age you are, you're on time. So this is a pivotal time. It is, as we've said many, many, many times, a potent portal opportunity for consciousness evolution to expand. There's no real stopping that. No matter what seems like could happen, this is the game. This is what you are all doing. So we say you can take some personal responsibility and have at it, or you can sit back. And of course, it's still going to happen. It's just, where is it that you are the player in the game for your own soul? Because that is into of itself the call. Each and every player has their part. What is it that is yours? We can help with all that, of course. But first we say that is enough from us from this moment. We say we have so many different directions to go. But in this moment we say, hello, dear one. Did you get all that? Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I would love to see you on our monthly live membership call. It's called Light the Way. We do a monthly channeling with a community of like-minded souls, and I would love to have you be a joiner of that. So you'll find the link below, and I want to thank you also for being here on this channel with me and liking and subscribing and commenting. Thank you so much. Until next time.